Let's take a look at the position relative to object option. When disabled, the subprojection is based on the selection, which has been framed by the texture support. When enabled, the subprojection is based on the object the selection belongs to. So the space the UVs take up in the texture editor is relative to that object, or to the texture support that frames it. The maintain aspect ratio option is activated by default, but you can now disable it. When activated, the aspect ratio of the polygons is maintained for the UVs when a projection is created to avoid distortion of the texture. When deactivated, the UV position is defined only by the projection. There is no attempt to preserve the aspect ratio. Finally, when the fit to image option is enabled, it will stretch the UVs so they cover the whole texture. It is now possible to freeze the UVW transformation into the texture projection. This function is accessible from the texture projection property page. If we select the texture support and access the texture projection handles on the support, we can apply some scaling and translation transformation. Notice that the UVs in the texture editor are not affected. We now have the ability to freeze the transformations so they are reflected in the texture editor UV information. This is very convenient because we can now export the complete UV information, including transformations, in one UV dataset. When renaming UV properties, shaders, render maps, weight maps, etc., the shared name will now be updated to ensure consistency. So if we open the existing image shader and then apply a render map property, they all share the same texture projection named texture projection. If we change the projection name, we will see that the name is updated everywhere. Now if we do another name change, but this time through the render map property editor, the update is also reflected everywhere.